Hi, I am Chahid Gupta and I am going to present the topic carbon credit. So, for the concept of carbon credit, consider it as a commodity to regulate carbon emissions. It is like a permission slip to emit carbon. Uh, but what if these sustainability practices can actually generate revenue for our company? For the base concept, when companies produce goods and services, in their production process, they emit certain greenhouse gases, more prominently carbon dioxide, which is very harmful for the environment. So, in order to control these emissions, government created a concept known as carbon credits. How does it work? Every company gets a limit on how much pollution it can create. If a company pollutes less, it has extra credits. If a company pollutes more, it needs to buy credits from others. So, what is the definition of carbon credit? It is a tradable certificate representing the verified removal or avoidance of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent from the atmosphere. One carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of carbon dioxide either removed or reduced from the environment. Example, company A reduces pollution, has extra carbon credits, and sells them to company B, which is currently not able to lower its emissions. Basic dealings with carbon credits. So there are three steps under carbon credit dealings. First process is the start with an eco-friendly project. So in order to compensate the carbon emissions, this step is undertaken wherein companies take in green projects uh, like planting trees, using solar or wind energy, saving electricity, and capturing harmful gases. Second step is to measure the reduction. Experts calculate how much pollution would have happened normally, how much pollution is actually reduced. Next step is the verification step, wherein companies verify and compare with the ESG guidelines framework. So for our company, the target industry is the steel industry. For the steel industry, as of 2026, the government has not really standardized the set limit for emissions, but the estimated current emission intensity is around 2.6 ton carbon dioxide per ton of steel, and the expected reduced standard is 2.23 ton carbon dioxide per ton. पर जो अभी सिचुएशन चल रहा है उसके हिसाब से भले ही हमारे इधर जो एक्सपेक्टेड और करंट उसमें है वो रिड्यूस हुआ है, पर आउटपुट जो है इंडियन इंडस्ट्री बहुत बढ़ रहा है, तो इसलिए टोटल जो एमिशन है 236 emissions and 334, these are this is earlier emission and this is the current emission, because the quantity has increased. Though the calculation here 2.36 and 2.23 is reduced, but the emissions are consistent and they're increasing. This is for the reason that government cannot really curb or put a full control over carbon emissions of steel industries, since it is a very strong sector of Indian economy. Next. So the expected or the target of carbon emissions is by 25%. Industries with targets, these are the official targets which is standardized by government. Cement industry, reduction required 4.7% to 7.6%. Aluminium industry 2.8% to 7.06%. Pulp and paper industry by 15%. This is the highest reduction, which means it has a lot of scope for a company to work in the pulp and paper industry. Other industries are petrochemicals, petroleum, textiles. How does decarbon deals? For now, we are only concentrating on ESG auditing firms, but we have surely planned for dealing with trading in carbon credits. That is, the surplus of one company shall be traded with the deficit of another company who is in need of the carbon credits. ESG auditing involves Since it being the main process of our company, it is very important to know the steps or the dealings of our company. So the first thing is checking company data and reports. We accumulate or request the companies for their reports and analyze their manufacturing scale and how much carbon they might emit, and visit sites and inspect operations. Auditors go to factories, offices, or plants and observe how work is actually done, check machines, waste disposal, and safety systems. In order to be more authorized and transparent, this step is followed. Third step is to compare with ESG standards and frameworks. Auditors compare company practices with standards. This step basically ensures that the company is aligned with the ESG guidelines. Uh, Fourth step is identify gaps or risks. Finally, auditors find missing policies, non-compliance with rules, environmental or social risk. G Carbon may end up consulting the company how can they bridge the gap between the deficit carbon credits or the surplus carbon credits. Why carbon credit trading matters to us? Since it turns sustainability into revenue, every smart environmental decision we make can generate carbon credits which can be sold for profit. It strengthens our market position. Since not many companies are working on carbon credits, this can be a scope for G Carbon to build a strong market position. It rewards innovation. When you find ways to reduce emissions, energy savings, process improvements, waste reduction, it might create an opportunity to acquire our own carbon credits and deal as a seller in the carbon credit market. It opens new career opportunities. Carbon markets and ESG are among the fastest growing fields. Where do extra credits come from? Renewable energy projects, afforestation and reforestation, waste management, sustainable agriculture, carbon capture and storage. So, this is a suggestion from my side that initial audits with consultancy, as we are taking up projects, we can increase our scope by giving a consultancy to the prospect company, and also connecting with farmers to have our own carbon credits. Acting as a carbon credit generator, we can obviously connect with farmers who are actively doing agriculture, and they contribute to reduction in carbon dioxide from the environment. Thank you.